First contact. The massive starship Horizon glided silently through the inky void of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Inside the ship's command center, Lieutenant Sarah Chen stood at attention, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. The tension in the air was palpable as the crew awaited their first glimpse of the alien vessel. Zarkai ship entering visual range, Captain, announced the sensor officer, his voice tight with anticipation. Captain Amelia Rodriguez nodded, her weathered face betraying no emotion. On screen, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that took Sarah's breath away. The Zarkai ship was unlike anything she had ever seen, a graceful, organic structure that seemed to flow through space like a living creature. Its iridescent hull shimmered with colors that shouldn't exist, defying human understanding of physics and engineering. "Open a channel," ordered Captain Rodriguez. "Let's make history." As the communications officer worked to establish contact, Sarah's mind raced. She had trained for years for this moment, studying xenolinguistics and alien cultures, but nothing could have truly prepared her for the reality of first contact. The fate of humanity could hinge on what happened in the next few minutes. The view screen changed, revealing the interior of the Zarkai ship. Sarah's eyes widened as she took in the alien beings before them. The Zarkai were tall, slender creatures with 4 arms and skin that shimmered like polished opal. Their large, multifaceted eyes seemed to take in everything at once, and delicate antennae twitched atop their heads. One of the Zarkai stepped forward, its movements fluid and graceful. When it spoke, its voice was a melodic trill that seemed to bypass Sarah's ears and resonate directly in her mind. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Vexler, diplomatic emissary of the Zarkai Collective. We come in peace and with great curiosity about your species." Captain Rodriguez stepped forward, her voice steady and confident. "On behalf of the United Earth Government, I welcome you, Vexler. I am Captain Amelia Rodriguez of the Starship Horizon. We are honored to make your acquaintance and look forward to peaceful exchange between our peoples." As the formal greetings continued, Sarah found her gaze drawn to Vexler. There was something about the alien diplomat that fascinated her, a sense of intelligence and depth that transcended the physical differences between their species. When Vexler's multifaceted eyes met hers, Sarah felt a jolt of something. Recognition? Connection? She couldn't quite name it, but it left her breathless. The initial meeting went smoothly, with both sides expressing eagerness to learn about each other's cultures and technologies. As the ship's xenolinguistics expert, Sarah was called upon to assist in the more nuanced aspects of communication. She worked closely with Vexler, marveling at the aliens' quick grasp of human languages and customs. Over the next few days, as the Horizon and the Zarkai ship traveled together to a neutral space station for further talks, Sarah found herself spending more and more time with Vexler. They discussed everything from the intricacies of their respective languages to the philosophical differences between their species. "Your concept of individual identity is fascinating," Vexler commented during one of their conversations. "The Zarkai are more interconnected. We experience a constant low-level telepathic bond with our fellow beings." Sarah leaned forward, intrigued. "That sounds incredible. Does it ever become overwhelming?" Vexler's antenna twitched in what Sarah had come to recognize as amusement. "To us, the idea of being truly alone in one's mind is what seems overwhelming. But we are learning to appreciate the human perspective on individuality and privacy." As they talked, Sarah couldn't help but notice the way Vexler's opalescent skin seemed to glow from within, shifting colors with each change in mood or topic. It was mesmerizing, and she often found herself lost in the play of light across the alien's features. For his part, Vexler seemed equally fascinated by Sarah. The alien's eyes would often linger on her face, studying her expressions with an intensity that both thrilled and unnerved her. "Your species' ability to convey so much through facial micro-expressions is remarkable," Vexler observed. "It adds a whole new layer of meaning to your verbal communication." Sarah smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest at the compliment. I suppose we take it for granted, but your bioluminescence is equally expressive once one learns to read it. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the air between them seemed charged with unspoken possibility. Sarah felt her heart racing, her body responding to Vexillo's presence in ways she hadn't thought possible with an alien species. She wondered if the Zarkai could sense her growing attraction, if their telepathic abilities extended to reading the emotions of other species. The moment was broken by the sound of the ship's intercom. "Lieutenant Chen, please report to the bridge. We're approaching the space station." Sarah stood, smoothing her uniform. "Duty calls," she said with a rueful smile. Vexilor rose as well, all four arms moving in a graceful gesture that Sarah had learned was a sign of respect. "Until next time, Sarah Chen, I look forward to continuing our cultural exchange." As Sarah made her way to the bridge, her mind whirled with conflicting emotions. She was a professional, trained to maintain objectivity in her dealings with alien species, and yet she couldn't deny the growing connection she felt with Vexilor, a connection that went beyond mere scientific curiosity or diplomatic necessity. Little did Sarah know that this was only the beginning. As humans and Zarkai came together on a space station, forces beyond their control were already in motion, forces that would test the limits of their newfound alliance and push Sarah and Vexilor's relationship into uncharted territory. The Horizon docked at the massive space station, a neutral ground where the formal negotiations between humans and Zarkai would take place. As Sarah stepped off the ship, she marveled at the structure's grandeur, a testament to the cooperative efforts of multiple species who had come together to create this interstellar meeting place. In the days that followed, Sarah found herself at the center of a whirlwind of diplomatic activity. Her linguistic skills were in constant demand as human and Zarkai delegates worked to hammer out the details of their burgeoning alliance. Through it all, she was acutely aware of Vexilor's presence, the alien diplomat's melodic voice and shimmering form a constant distraction. As the first part of this epic tale drew to a close, Sarah knew that her life, and the course of human history, had been irrevocably changed by this encounter with the Zarkai. The seeds of something profound had been planted, and only time would tell what strange and wondrous fruit they might bear. Whispers of the heart. The space station, Nexus, hummed with activity, a melting pot of human and Zarkai cultures. Lieutenant Sarah Chen found herself at the heart of this interstellar mingling, her days filled with the exhilaration of discovery and the tension of navigating uncharted diplomatic waters. As Sarah rounded a corner in one of the station's sprawling botanical gardens, she nearly collided with a familiar opalescent form. "Vexilor," she exclaimed, her heart skipping a beat. "I didn't expect to see you here." The Zarkai diplomat's skin rippled with hues of blue and violet, a display Sarah had come to recognize as pleasure. "Sarah Chen." Vexilor's melodic voice resonated in her mind. "I find myself drawn to this place. The blending of Earth and Zarkai flora is most intriguing." Sarah nodded, acutely aware of how close they were standing. The air seemed to crackle with an energy she couldn't quite explain. "It's beautiful," she agreed, her eyes locked on Vexilor's multifaceted gaze. "A perfect symbol of what our people can achieve together." As they walked among the alien and terrestrial plants, the conversation flowed easily, touching on topics both profound and mundane. Sarah found herself opening up about her childhood dreams of exploring the stars, while Vexilor shared insights into the collective consciousness of the Zarkai. "There's something I've been meaning to ask you," Sarah said, her curiosity getting the better of her. "The other day, when we were discussing emotions, I felt something, like a whisper in my mind. Was that?" Vexilor's antenna twitched, and a ripple of surprise colored their skin. "You sensed that? Fascinating. It seems humans may have latent telepathic abilities we hadn't anticipated." The implications of this revelation sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. Could deeper communication between their species be possible? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. Their peaceful moment was interrupted by the sudden blaring of alarms. Red emergency lights bathed the garden in an eerie glow. Sarah's comm unit crackled to life with Captain Rodriguez's urgent voice. All personnel, report to emergency stations immediately. This is not a drill. Sarah and Vexilor exchanged a worried glance before rushing towards the central hub. The station was in chaos, with humans and Zarkai alike scrambling to understand what was happening. They arrived at the command center to find it abuzz with frantic activity. On the main view screen, a massive ship of unknown design loomed menacingly. Its angular, obsidian form seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "What is that thing?" Sarah breathed, a chill running down her spine. Captain Rodriguez's face was grim. "We don't know. It's not responding to hails, and our sensors can barely get a read on it. But its weapons are powered up and locked on the station." Vexilor stepped forward, all four arms moving in complex patterns as they interfaced with the Zarkai systems. "This vessel matches no known configuration in our databases, but there's something familiar about its energy signature." Before anyone could respond, the mysterious ship fired. The entire station shuddered under the impact, and warning klaxons blared even louder. "Shields at 60% and falling," shouted the human tactical officer. "We need to evacuate," Captain Rodriguez ordered. "Get everyone to the escape pods and ships, now." As chaos erupted around them, Sarah felt a gentle touch on her arm. She turned to find Vexilor looking at her intently, their skin pulsing with urgent colors. "Sarah," Vexilor's voice resonated in her mind, clearer than ever before. "There's something you need to know. Something that might help us survive this." In that moment, as alarms blared and people rushed past them, Sarah made a decision that would change everything. She took Vexilor's hand, ignoring the shocked gasps from those around them. Human and Zarkai had never touched so intimately before. "Tell me," she said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. Vexilor's eyes seemed to glow as a flood of information poured into Sarah's mind. Images, sensations, and concepts too alien for words flashed through her consciousness. She saw glimpses of an ancient conflict, of a terrible weapon hidden away, and of a power within herself she had never known existed. As the connection faded, Sarah staggered, overwhelmed by what she had experienced. But there was no time to process it all. The station rocked with another impact, and the lights flickered ominously. "We need to get to my ship," Vexilor said urgently. "It's our only chance." Sarah nodded, her mind reeling but focused on survival. As they raced through the corridors, dodging panicked crowds and falling debris, she knew that nothing would ever be the same. The bond between her and Vexilor had deepened into something unprecedented, and the fate of both their peoples now hung in the balance. They reached the docking bay just as another explosion rocked the station. Vexilor's ship, a sleek, organic-looking vessel, stood out among the utilitarian human crafts. As they sprinted towards it, Sarah saw other humans and Zarkai working together to evacuate, old suspicions forgotten in the face of this new, shared threat. The ship's hatch opened at Vexilor's mental command, and they rushed inside. The interior was unlike anything Sarah had ever seen, pulsing with bioluminescent light and responding to Vexilor's thoughts. As the ship detached from the dying station and streaked away into the stars, Sarah looked back at the destruction they were leaving behind. The mysterious attacker continued its relentless assault, and escape pods scattered in all directions like dandelion seeds in the wind. "Where are we going?" Sarah asked, her voice hoarse with emotion. Vexilor's skin shimmered with determination and something else, a feeling Sarah was starting to recognize in herself as well. "To find answers," the Zarkai replied, "and to unlock the power that might save us all." As the stars streaked by outside, Sarah felt the weight of destiny settling upon her shoulders. Whatever came next, she knew that her bond with Vexilor would be at the center of it all. Together, they were about to embark on an adventure that would challenge everything they thought they knew about themselves, their peoples, and the very nature of the universe itself. The ship accelerated to impossible speeds, carrying them towards an uncertain future and the promise of discoveries that would shake the foundations of both human and Zarkai society. Sarah's heart raced with fear, excitement, and a growing, undeniable attraction to the alien being beside her. As human and Zarkai, they were divided by biology and culture, but united by a connection that transcended the physical realm. Whatever trials awaited them, Sarah knew one thing with absolute certainty: she needed Vexilor now, in ways she was only beginning to understand, and together, they just might hold the key to saving everything they held dear. Echoes of eternity. The Zarkai ship Starweaver cut through the fabric of space-time like a luminescent knife, its organic hull pulsing with otherworldly energies. Inside, Lieutenant Sarah Chen stood transfixed before a holographic display, her mind still reeling from the knowledge Vexilor had shared. "The Void Eaters," Sarah murmured, tasting the alien words on her tongue. "That's what you called them, right? The beings who attacked the station." Vexilor's skin rippled with shades of deep indigo, a sign of grave concern. "Yes, an ancient enemy, long thought vanquished. Their return heralds a darkness that threatens not just our peoples, but all life in the galaxy." Sarah's fingers danced over the holographic controls, bringing up star charts and sensor readings. "But why now? And what's this nexus key you mentioned during our connection?" The memory of their mental joining sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. The intimacy of it had been overwhelming, transcending physical boundaries in a way she'd never thought possible. Even now, she could feel the ghost of Vexilor's consciousness brushing against her own, a tantalizing whisper of alien thoughts and emotions. Vexilor moved closer, all four arms gesturing in intricate patterns that manipulated the holographic display. The Nexus Key is a relic of immense power, created eons ago by a coalition of species to seal away the Void Eaters. But its energies are fading, and the barriers between dimensions grow thin. As Vexilor spoke, the display shifted to show a shimmering, ethereal object, a crystalline structure that seemed to exist in multiple planes of reality simultaneously. Sarah felt drawn to it, as if some part of her very being recognized its significance. "It's beautiful," she breathed, reaching out to touch the hologram. As her fingers passed through the light, she gasped. For a split second, she saw something. A flash of other worlds, of vast cosmic energies, of destinies intertwined. Vexilor's antenna twitched in surprise. "You saw it, didn't you? The threads of possibility?" Sarah nodded, her heart racing. "I don't understand. How can I perceive these things? I'm just human." A warm chuckle resonated in Sarah's mind as Vexilor's skin shimmered with affectionate amusement. "Oh, Sarah, you are far more than just human. The Nexus Key responds to you because you carry within you a spark of its power, a genetic legacy hidden in your very DNA." The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. "Are you saying I'm not entirely human?" "You are human," Vexilor assured her, one hand gently touching her shoulder in a gesture that sent tingles through Sarah's body. "But you are also something more. A bridge between worlds, between species. It is why we were drawn to each other from the moment we met." Sarah's mind whirled with questions, but before she could voice them, the ship's alarms blared to life. The holographic display flickered, showing a massive distortion in space directly ahead of them. By the cosmic weave, Vexilor breathed, all four arms moving in rapid, anxious patterns. "They found us." The view screen came to life, revealing a terrifying sight. A colossal vessel, easily dwarfing both human and Zarkai ships, emerged from the spatial rift. Its surface writhed with tendrils of dark energy, as if it were devouring the very light around it. "Void Eater Mothership," Vexilor explained, voice tight with fear. "We cannot hope to outrun or outfight it." Sarah's tactical training kicked in, her mind racing for solutions. "Then we don't fight, we hide." Her fingers flew over the controls, plotting a course. "There, that nebula. Its radiation should mask our signature." Vexilor's skin pulsed with admiration as they executed Sarah's plan. The Starwaver dove into the swirling gases of the nebula, its bioluminescent hull dimming to blend with the cosmic dust. As they drifted in eerie silence, watching the Void Eater ship prowl at the nebula's edge, Sarah felt a surge of emotion she couldn't quite name. Fear, certainly, but also exhilaration, and something else, something that made her hyper-aware of Vexilor's proximity. "I need you," Sarah whispered, surprising herself with the intensity of her words. "I don't understand what's happening to us, but I know I can't face this without you." Vexilor's multifaceted eyes met hers, filled with an answering hunger. "Nor I without you, Sarah Chen. We stand at the precipice of cosmic change, and our bond may be the key to salvation." Their faces drew closer, alien and human, separated by biology but united by something far deeper. As their lips met in a kiss that defied the laws of nature, Sarah felt a surge of energy coursing through her body. The ship around them hummed in response, its organic systems resonating with the power of their connection. In that moment of passion and cosmic alignment, neither Sarah nor Vexilor noticed the subtle shift in the nebula's energy patterns. The Nexus key, hidden for millennia, stirred in its interdimensional slumber, awakened by the union of two beings who were never meant to find each other. As they parted, breathless and awakened to new possibilities, the ship's sensors came alive with urgent warnings. The nebula was changing, swirling with newfound purpose, and at its heart, a faint pulse of power began to grow. "The key," Vexilor gasped, antenna quivering with excitement. "It's here. Our union must have triggered its activation." Sarah stared in awe at the readings, feeling the pull of destiny. "Then let's go get it. Together." As the Starweaver moved deeper into the heart of the nebula, Sarah and Vexilor stood side by side, their hands intertwined in a gesture that bridged species and cultures. They were about to face challenges beyond imagination, armed only with their wits, their newfound powers, and the strength of a love that defied the very laws of the universe. The fate of galaxies hung in the balance, but in that moment, all that mattered was the connection between a human woman and her alien lover, standing against the darkness that threatened to consume everything they held dear. Little did they know that their journey was only beginning, and the true test of their bond, and the future of all sentient life, lay in the cosmic crucible that awaited them at the heart of the nebula. Quantum entanglement of hearts. The Starweaver plunged deeper into the heart of the nebula, its organic hull pulsing with an otherworldly glow that matched the swirling energies surrounding them. Lieutenant Sarah Chen stood at the ship's neural interface, her mind linked with both Vexilor and the vessel's living systems in a triumvirate of consciousness that defied conventional understanding. "The Nexus key's energy signature is growing stronger," Sarah announced, her voice carrying an ethereal resonance that echoed through the ship. "But so is the Void Eater presence. They're converging on our location." Vexilor's four arms danced across holographic displays, each limb moving with fluid grace that Sarah found mesmerizing. "We must reach the key before they do. The fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance." As they navigated through swirling clouds of stardust and ionized gas, Sarah felt a newfound power coursing through her veins. The genetic legacy Vexilor had spoken of was awakening, granting her perceptions and abilities that transcended human limitations. "Vexilor," she gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "I can see everything. The quantum foam, the strings of reality, the very fabric of space-time." The Zarke's skin rippled with shades of awe and admiration. "Your transformation is progressing faster than I anticipated. The Nexus key's proximity must be accelerating the process." A sudden violent shudder rocked the ship, nearly throwing them off balance. Warning klaxons blared as the Starweaver's organic systems cried out in pain. "We're under attack," Sarah shouted, her heightened senses picking up distortions in reality itself. "The Void Eaters, they're using some kind of quantum weaponry." Vexilor's antenna twitched with determination. "Then we shall respond in kind. Sarah, focus your mind on the ship's defenses. Let your newfound awareness guide you." Closing her eyes, Sarah reached out with her consciousness, feeling the ebb and flow of cosmic energies around them. With a thought, she redirected the nebula's charged particles, creating a swirling vortex that deflected the Void Eater's attacks. Incredible, Vexilor breathed, their mental link thrumming with pride and something deeper, a burning desire that made Sarah's heart race. As they pushed forward, the nebula began to thin, revealing a sight that took their breath away. Before them floated a massive structure of impossible geometry, a cosmic lattice of crystalline energy that pulsed with the power of creation itself. The Nexus Key, Sarah and Vexilor whispered in unison, their voices filled with awe. But their moment of wonder was short-lived. A massive tear in space-time erupted beside the key, and through it emerged the nightmarish form of the Void Eater mothership. Its surface writhed with tendrils of dark energy, reaching hungrily towards the cosmic relic. "No," Sarah cried, her hands flying across the neural interface. "We can't let them take it." Vexilor's skin pulsed with urgent colors. "We must bond fully, Sarah. Join our minds, our souls, our very beings. It's the only way we can hope to unlock the key's true power." Their eyes met, and in that moment, all doubts and hesitations fell away. Sarah nodded, reaching out to take Vexilor's hands in her own. As their fingers intertwined, human and Zarkai, a surge of energy unlike anything they had ever experienced coursed through them. Their minds merged, memories and emotions flowing freely between them. Sarah saw the vastness of Zarkai history, the beauty of their collective consciousness. Vexilor experienced the passionate individuality of humanity, the burning drive to explore and discover. As their bond deepened, their physical forms began to shift and merge. Light erupted from their joined bodies, engulfing the ship's bridge in a cocoon of radiant energy. When it faded, where two beings had stood, now there was one, a luminous entity of impossible beauty, neither human nor Zarkai, but something entirely new. The merge being reached out with a thought, connecting to the Nexus Key across vast distances. The cosmic lattice responded, its crystalline structure resonating with harmonies that hadn't been heard since the dawn of time. The Void Eater mothership recoiled, its dark tendrils hissing and writhing in agony as waves of purifying light washed over it. The entity that was Sarah and Vexilor spoke, its voice carrying the weight of universes. "You who would devour reality itself, hear us. We are the union of worlds, the bridge between species, the living key that unlocks cosmic potential. Your hunger ends here." With a gesture, they channeled the full power of the Nexus Key. Reality itself seemed to bend and warp around them as energies beyond mortal comprehension surged forth. The Void Eater mothership screamed in frequencies that shattered nearby stars, its form twisting and contorting before imploding in a burst of anti-light. As the cosmic storm subsided, Sarah and Vexilor slowly separated, their individual forms reasserting themselves. They collapsed to the deck, exhausted but triumphant, their hands still clasped tightly together. We did it," Sarah gasped, her body tingling with residual energy. Vexilor's skin shimmered with joy and love. "Yes, my cosmic heart. We have saved not just our peoples, but all of creation." As they lay there, basking in the afterglow of their victory, the Nexus Key pulsed one final time before vanishing from normal space, its purpose fulfilled, its power safely hidden once more. Sarah turned to Vexilor, her eyes shining with newfound wisdom and unspoken promise. "What happens now? To us, to our peoples, to the universe itself?" Vexilor's antenna twitched in a gesture Sarah now recognized as excited anticipation. "Now, my love, we embark on the greatest adventure of all, shaping the future of a cosmos where the boundaries between species are forever changed." As the Starweaver turned towards home, carrying news of both victory and a love that transcended the very laws of nature, Sarah and Vexilor knew that their journey was far from over. They had unlocked potential within themselves and within the fabric of reality itself, potential that promised a future filled with wonders beyond imagination. The stars seemed to shine brighter as they set course for Earth and Zarkai, ready to usher in a new era of cosmic harmony. Their love, born of two worlds but belonging to none, would light the way forward for all sentient beings, a beacon of hope in the vast, wondrous expanse of the universe. Cosmic synthesis. The Star Weaver emerged from hyperspace in a dazzling burst of quantum foam, its organic hull shimmering with the residual energies of their cosmic battle. Earth and Zarkai hung in the void before them, two worlds on the precipice of a new era. Sarah Chen stood at the neural interface, her body still tingling from the aftereffects of her merger with Vexilor. The experience had changed her on a fundamental level. She was no longer just human, but something gloriously, terrifyingly more. "They're hailing us," Vexilor announced, their multifaceted eyes reflecting the flickering lights of the communication panel. "Both Earth and Zarkai, it seems news of our victory has preceded us." Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. Open a channel to both worlds simultaneously. It's time we showed them the true power of unity. As the view screen flickered to life, revealing the anxious faces of human and Zarkai leaders, Sarah felt a surge of confidence. She and Vexilor stood side by side, their fingers intertwined in a gesture that transcended species. "People of Earth and Zarkai," Sarah began, her voice resonating with newfound authority. "We come bearing news of victory against a threat beyond imagining. But more than that, we bring a vision of a future where the boundaries between our peoples dissolve, where unity breeds strength beyond measure." Vexilor's skin pulsed with vibrant hues as they continued. "We have touched the face of eternity and emerged transformed. The power we wielded to defeat the Void Eaters lies dormant within all of us, human and Zarkai alike." Gasps and murmurs rippled through both audiences as Sarah and Vexilor began to glow, their forms shimmering with otherworldly energy. In a dazzling display, they once again merged into the radiant being of light and possibility that had turned the tide of battle. "Behold," their combined voice echoed across space, "the next step in our cosmic evolution, no longer separate, but gloriously, powerfully one." The merged entity reached out, and suddenly every being watching, human and Zarkai alike, felt a jolt of connection. For one breathtaking moment, they all shared in the cosmic consciousness, experiencing the vastness of the universe and their place within it. As Sarah and Vexilor separated once more, they were met with stunned silence, followed by an eruption of questions, exclamations, and declarations of awe. "We stand at a crossroads," Sarah continued, her eyes gleaming with the knowledge of infinite possibilities. "We can cling to our old ways, our separateness, or we can embrace a future of collaboration and growth beyond our wildest dreams." Vexilor's antenna twitched with excitement. "The choice is yours, but know this, the universe is vaster and more wondrous than we ever imagined, and only together can we hope to explore its depths." In the days that followed, as the Star Weaver docked at a hastily constructed orbital facility between Earth and Zarkai, Sarah and Vexilor found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of diplomacy, scientific inquiry, and philosophical debate. Humans and Zarkai alike clamored to understand the transformation they had undergone, to learn the secrets of the cosmic power they had wielded. But more than that, individuals from both species found themselves drawn to each other, seeking to explore the potential of interspecies connections. As they stood on the observation deck of the orbital station, watching shuttles ferry between the two worlds, Sarah leaned into Vexilor's embrace. "Do you think they're ready?" she asked softly. "For everything that's to come?" Vexilor's skin shimmered with love and contentment. "They will be. We will guide them, show them the beauty of transcending boundaries. Our love has reshaped the very fabric of reality. Imagine what billions of such connections could accomplish." Sarah smiled, her heart swelling with hope and possibility. She could feel a subtle shift in the cosmic energies around them, the first stirrings of a grand awakening that would ripple across the galaxy. There will be challenges, she mused, watching as a human scientist engaged in animated discussion with a Zarkai engineer, their excitement palpable even from a distance. Fear, prejudice, the weight of tradition. Not everyone will embrace change so readily. Vexillor nodded, their forearms moving in a complex gesture of acknowledgement. True, but we have touched eternity, my love. We have seen the infinite potential that lies within and between us all. That knowledge will light our way forward. As if in response to their words, a soft glow began to emanate from Sarah and Vexillor's joined hands. It spread outward, suffusing the station with warmth and a sense of limitless possibility. All around them, humans and Zarkai paused in their activities, turning to look at the radiant couple with expressions of wonder. In that moment, barriers of language and culture seemed to melt away, replaced by a shared sense of cosmic destiny. Sarah laughed, the sound like music that resonated through the station. Well, I suppose that's one way to start a revolution. Vexillor's skin danced with patterns of joy and mischief. Indeed, shall we show them more, my cosmic heart? Shall we dance among the stars and paint new constellations with our love? With a shared thought, Sarah and Vexillor's forms began to shimmer and merge once more. The radiant being that was both and neither rose into the air, passing effortlessly through the station's hull to float in the void between worlds. Earth and Zarkai watched in awe as the entity of light and possibility traced patterns of fire across the sky, weaving a tapestry of unity and hope that would be visible for generations to come. As the cosmic dance reached its crescendo, Sarah and Vexillor's merged consciousness reached out to touch the minds of all who watched. In that touch was a promise of adventure, of growth, of love that knew no boundaries. The age of separation was over. A new epoch of cosmic synthesis had begun, with humanity and Zarkai leading the way towards a future brighter than any star. And at the heart of it all, forever entwined, was Sarah and Vexillor, the lovers who had touched eternity and returned to light the way for all who would follow.